New Mexico Real Estate Basics, page 58. For example, the home is assessed for tax purposes at $100,000 for the current year. 12 months later, the values in the area have gone up about 10%, but the new assessment can rise by only $3,000. 3% of the previous year's value to $103,000. Or the assessment after 2 years may be increased to $106,100. The reason for these caps is to permit reassessment on a regular basis, but limit sudden and huge increases to the property owner. Why do real estate brokers need to know about property tax computations? Brokers should acquire basic knowledge about property tax assessments and time frames because property taxes can influence asking prices and offered prices. It is common for taxes to change when a property has been transferred to new owners. Brokers must be aware that while the buyer and seller are responsible for reporting of the sale price within 30 days of transfer, most of the time this requirement is satisfied by title company personnel on behalf of buyers and sellers. Can a property owner challenge a reassessment? Yes. The property owner may challenge a reassessment by filing a protest with Valuation Protest Board within 30 days of receiving the notice of valuation. At that time, the taxpayer can present evidence at the protest hearing to challenge the assessment amount. A property owner can also pay the disputed tax amount and seek a refund in the district court. How are tax rates determined? Tax rates are reflective of all approved state, county, city, school, and specific budgets. Tax rates also consider all sources of income. After deducting the anticipated ancillary revenue derived from government reimbursements, gasoline taxes, fines, sales taxes, motel/hotel taxes, and so forth from the approved budgets. The remainder necessary to cover the costs of the approved budgets is divided by the appropriate taxable value to determine the tax rate. The tax ratio in New Mexico is 33 1/3%. So each property is taxed at 1/3 of its assessed value. Tax rates are quoted as dollars per thousand of net taxable value. Is there any possibility of reductions in taxes due? Yes. New Mexico allows for 2 exemptions. The head of household deduction is $2,000. And an eligible qualified veterans exemption is $4,000. Legislation also allows for a complete exemption from property tax for disabled veterans who build homes with federal grant funds. A freeze of assessed value is available for lower income homeowners over age 65, and substantial reductions are available for agricultural property. What is New Mexico's homestead exemption? In New Mexico, some of the homestead of every person is exempt from judicial sale where there is no statutory declaration to the contrary. The homestead exemption is $60,000. Homestead protects the homeowner from a forced sale by any unsecured lien holder. Secured lien holders such as lenders and owners who page 59. Sell on contract. Require that purchasers waive their homestead rights as a prerequisite to the contract. When are property taxes due? Taxes become a lien on January 1st of the year for which the taxes are due. The notice of valuation is mailed on April 1st, and the owner has 30 days to challenge the assessment. Tax bills are mailed on October 10th. Taxes are due and payable in two parts, November 10th of the current year and April 10th of the following year. How are the due taxes paid when the property is sold? When the property owner sells, taxes are divided into current taxes. Those due but not delinquent are prorated taxes. And prorated taxes. Those due but not payable. Normally, the selling taxpayer pays the taxes that are due but not delinquent and prorates to the buyer those that are due but not payable. In some situations, these taxes owed by the seller can be quite substantial. At what time must the taxes be paid to avoid penalties? What is the penalty? In New Mexico, property taxes paid in installments require that the first installment be paid on or before November 10th. The taxes are considered late on November 11th. The second half installment is due before April 10th of the following year. There is no penalty for the first 30 days after the due dates. However, after that, the delinquent taxpayer is penalized 1% per month penalty, maximum of 5%, plus 1% interest per month if taxes are delinquent after 3 years. The property may be sold at a tax sale. At what point are properties ordered sold at a tax sale? In New Mexico, property owners are allowed 3 years from the date of delinquency to make restitution and pay the appropriate penalty before the delinquent property is placed up for tax sale. Does the delinquent taxpayer have any opportunity to redeem property? After a property is sold at a tax sale, the delinquent taxpayer has no right of redemption. An interested or secured party has up to 2 years to challenge the sale based on improper procedures. If all procedures were properly followed, there is no legal right to redeem. Should the sale be rescinded, the person who paid the taxes who bought at the tax sale is entitled to a return on any investment. Encumbrances. What are mechanics liens? A mechanics lien is a statutory equitable lien created in favor of contractors, laborers, and material men who have performed work or furnished materials in the erection or repair of a building and who have not been paid. The lien must be filed on the parcel of real estate where the material was used or the labor performed and must be filed in the county in which the real estate is located. Page 60. When do mechanics liens apply? Who may claim them? Suppliers of labor and materials under contract to improve a property may file a mechanics lien if they have not been paid. Only licensed contractors may file a lien. In New Mexico, mechanics liens have priority over each other based on the delivery of materials or Damn it, I lost my place. When do mechanics lien? Who may claim them? Suppliers of labor and materials under contract to improve a property may file a mechanics lien if they have not been paid. Only licensed contractors may file a lien. In New Mexico, mechanics liens have priority over each other based on the delivery of materials or start of work earliest. Original contractors must file the lien within 120 days of completion of work to keep the lien alive. All other claimants must file within 90 days. The lien remains valid for 2 years after filing. It is possible for a mechanic's lien to be filed after closing if the work had been performed within this time frame. It is effective as to the time that the work was performed. It might be noted that no notice must be given to the owner before filing a mechanic's lien. What is a license? The word license has different meanings. In real estate usage, it can mean permission. For example, someone can allow another to go hunting or fishing on personal property, or to enter the property to pick apples or get water from a spring. A license is a personal privilege, and as such, it is considered to be revocable permission, not a right that transfers with ownership. How are easements created in New Mexico? Easements in New Mexico can be created by deed or by use. Easements can be created by mutual agreement, and maintenance easements can be used in homeowner association agreements. If created by deed, a licensed attorney should complete the deed. A property owner may acquire a prescriptive easement by using someone else's property openly, which means visibly, notoriously, and without permission for a period of 10 years. Tacking is used to determine the time frame that has passed, and a single owner is not required to have used the easement for the entire 10-year period. What time frame must be observed for adverse possession leading to ownership? To claim title to any ownership in real estate by adverse possession, a person that must show that the person has used the way, privilege, or other use openly, notoriously, and without permission for a period of at least 10 years. Tacking is permitted. To prevent adverse possession, the owner must serve written notice to anyone using the land in question that the owner intends to dispute any right arising from such claim or use. Are there any other issues regarding encumbrances of which the broker should be aware? New Mexico uses statutory deed forms and statutory mortgage forms, meaning the forms are a part of state law, available through www.conwaygreen.com. The period of statutory redemption after a judicial foreclosure sale is 9 months. This can be waived by mutual agreement to not less than 1 month. Deeds of trust with the power of sale can be used by mutual consent of the parties. The period before sale must be at least 180 days. Page 61, zoning issues. What is the source of zoning authority enjoyed by New Mexico communities? The state of New Mexico gives local municipalities and each local jurisdiction the right to develop their own zoning regulations. The regulations must promote the health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. For all of the same reasons, local jurisdictions are given the authority to regulate and restrict development. Under what conditions may a developer subdivide? To ensure harmonious growth with community standards, land developers must conform to the municipality's subdivision and land development regulations. The land must be surveyed and laid out so that the subdivision uses natural drainage and land contours. Often an environmental impact report is required with the application for subdivision approval. Developers should be aware of New Mexico Cultural Properties Act, see below, and 4F.5. Plats have to be adopted by the municipality before they can be recorded from the subdivision plans. Plats are drawn of the land. The plat divides the land into lots. The plat is then submitted to the municipality for adoption. Often the developer pays the costs for the streets and sewers, and the streets and sewers are then, I don't know what it says, something located or catered back to the municipality for its ownership and their future maintenance. Are there any other issues of which to be aware? Yes. The Cultural Properties Act provided for the creation of the Cultural Properties Review Committee, CPRC, to serve as a professional policy making and advisory board for historic preservation in New Mexico. The act intends to promote activities to preserve the historic and prehistoric sites of New Mexico. The CPRC works with property owners and administers state and federal rehabilitation tax credit programs to assist in preserving sites and to see that they are considered in planning for development. It maintains records, provides information and technical assistance, develops educational outreach programs, assists local governments in developing preservation ordinances and plans, and administers state and federal laws to help protect these properties. Most proposed subdivisions must now provide an archaeological survey of the site as part of the approval process. Any archaeological sites discovered may impact the development plan. Finish the book.